again. As you know, the Republic Day at Tata Steel Kolkata Literary Meet starts with simultaneous sessions, one here and one at the Western Quadrangle, where Joanna Rakoff is in conversation with Meera Jacob. For our session here, titled What Does He Know of Cricket?, we have Soumya Bhattacharya, whose books about how cricket defines India, such as You Must Like Cricket and All That You Can't Leave Behind, were published to international acclaim. His novel, If I Could Tell You, was a finalist for the Hindu's Best Fiction Award 2010. He is also the author of the fatherhood memoir, Dad's the Word. He was a Granta New Voice in 2008. His writing has been published in the New York Times, The Guardian, The Independent, The New Statesman, Wisden, ESPN Cricinfo, and the Sydney Morning Herald. He is the editor of the Hindustan Times, Mumbai. Boria Majumdar, our other panelist, is a writer and historian, one of India's leading sports commentators and journalists, and the author of Sachin Tendulkar's autobiography, well, authorized biography, Playing It My Way. A Rhodes Scholar, Majumdar completed his doctorate from Oxford University. He was the first Indian to be awarded a fellowship to work at the International Olympic Museum Archives in Lausanne. He is a senior research fellow at the University of Central Lancashire and adjunct professor, School of Journalism, Australian and Indigenous Studies, Faculty of Arts at Monash University. He was a visiting fellow at Trinity College in 2009. And joining them, ladies and gentlemen, is Mudar Patherya, who for several Calcuttans needs no introduction. From a cricket writer to a financial columnist to a CPO, from a strong understanding of companies to a deep interest in collecting anything about Kolkata, including old architectural drawings, lobby cards, letters, postcards, and enamel advertising boards. Mudar is the Chief Positioning Officer at Trisis, responsible for bringing out one great annual report after another. We are very pleased to welcome Soumya Bhattacharya, Boria Majumdar, and Mudar Patherya for our inaugural session of today. Thank you very much. And before we start the session, it would be an honor if Mudar were to agree to launch Soumya's book, which he will sign after the session at Story.
May this book sell as many copies as Tendulkar scored runs in international cricket.
Well, it's called after Tendulkar, so.
And that's only in the first edition.
Thank you very much, Mudar. Thank you all. And over to the discussion.
This side, because then I'll be able to see both.
So you want me to sit here? Sit.
I'd rather go here because
যেখানে বলবি যা বলবি
এখানেও রোদ
যা বলবি
এখানে মনে একটু কম তুমি সরিয়ে নাও মুখে লাগবে
হ্যাঁ
এবার কি পড়বো একটু তারপরে
ঠিক আছে
Should we start? Start করছি, not a minute's delay. We're speaking on a subject that everybody is aware of, Tendulkar. I would also think that most people, আমরা সব Tendulkar's cricketer
wants to touch your bat one time at least. Sachin, getting very emotional, suddenly said, I will give you the bat provided you play cricket with me. And then he realized that this boy has never been able to stand up. What have I said? I've said, I will give you my bat provided you play cricket with me. He then asked one of his friends to get a bat and a tennis ball, a canvas tennis ball from the dressing room, from wherever. And once he got that, he went and stood behind that boy and told the boy, actually this bat is yours if you are able to stand up and play cricket with me. Believe you me, this boy stood up for the first time in his life, played 3 balls, just underground, but played 3 balls, okay? Now, if Sachin Tendulkar has not touched our hearts in multiple ways, not on the cricket field, I don't actually want to talk about the cricket field. I think this is playing it his way and making a far bigger contribution to society.
Anecdote 2.
Yeah. Anecdote 2, you know, this man was born in Sahitya Sevas, we all know, etc., brought up in a one-room chawl. One-room chawl. One bedroom, 4 siblings. Sachin would sort of sleep across, horizontal, where the 3 others would be vertical, and would get beaten up because of that. Now from there, till 1993-94, from that one-room chawl to the La Mer, the flat in Sahitya Sevas, then 2001, the La Mer penthouse, 2011, the Perry Cross Road bungalow. Every middle-class boy should have a dream. You want to excel, you strive hard. You want to strive hard for excellence, you do your best, you get there. Sachin is that boy next door story who actually have taught us Indians to dream and to also know that dreams turn real.
So
These are the two.
The middle class dream.
The middle class dream is actually turning real through Tendulkar. These, I think, are the 2 biggest lessons that he teaches us.
Somo, do you think Tendulkar has a non-cricketing legacy for this country?
No, he does. He does, in the sense that, of course, it's the whole creation of the notion of a meritocracy to which he has contributed.
Meritocracy.
To which he's contributed so much. Without him, there would have been no Dhoni, there would have been no Kohli, there would have been no Yuvraj Singh, there would have been no Indian cricketer as a brand. There would have been no middle-class boy dreaming on the Maidans of Calcutta or in Shivaji Park in Bombay or in a barren field in Jharkhand playing with not proper kits, not a bat, not even a seasoned ball, just as their peers in state-of-the-art cricket academies in Delhi or Bombay or in big urban centers do.
Okay, point taken. Does Tendulkar also have an influence on India? Don't forget, he came in 89. Liberalization happened in 91.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's part of the whole
Liberalization
story.
happened in 91.
Absolutely.
Does his legacy also translate into the confidence of this nation?
It's, well, the main thing there is with the economic liberalization, when Tendulkar came along, whether he wanted to or not, wittingly or unwittingly, his story became entwined with this whole Indian story of hope and growth and change. That's something that no one can take away from him. And with that, as India's grown over the past 25 years as a country, economically, politically, in all sorts of ways, it's that story that has been perpetuated, not merely in the sport that he so adorned, but also in all other walks of life.
So in a certain sense, he actually spans an entire period from Gandhi, which is Rajiv Gandhi, right down to just about touching
Narendra
Modi.
Modi. Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, he represents a quarter of a century of India's history.
Absolutely. And it's also important to think of what India was like when Tendulkar first played cricket and what it was like when he left international cricket in 2013. So that whole process of change, almost a volcanic, galvanic change, that is what is epitomized by his career.
Okay, provocative question for Boria. Do you think we are trying to read too many messages into this Tendulkar phenomenon, 25 years, Gandhi to Modi? Are we trying to fix labels on a man who's just played cricket and moved on? Are we trying to create, derive too many readings into this? Or do the readings actually exist for us to see?
Both. I mean, I don't think Tendulkar was conscious of economic liberalization when he was playing. I'll give you another anecdote. 1990s, he was 16. When he went to Pakistan, all he was bothered about was that symbol.
My last series was his first.
Fabulous. 1989, that banner which said, "Doodh pita bachcha ghar jaake doodh pi ke aa," when he got hit in Sialkot. Now, 1996, when he was playing the World Cup, he tells me all, or at least most of the other Indian cricketers had 4 square on their bats, okay? And he was the only player, 1996 best player of the team, who was batting without a bat sticker. So he had no sponsor. One of the multinationals, wouldn't want to name them, had come to India then. Tendulkar asked for a certain figure, said no. Then during the match against Australia, at that point in time, no anti-corruption security unit and all of that, this managing director goes to Tendulkar during the lunch and break, dinner break, whatever it was, and says, "Put your sticker now, any amount of money, it's yours." And he looked at him and he said, "What?" He said, "Put the sticker now, go out and bat with our sticker, the money is yours." And he said, I'm used to batting with no sticker. My eye is constantly looking at that part of the bat. And this is the World Cup, this is for India. And he said, "I will do it on my terms when I want to put that sticker, not when you want to tell me. This is the World Cup, nothing matters, get lost." So even when he was part of that economic liberalization process, he could have earned money and all of that was happening. I don't think he was a conscious entity in that. He may have been a consumer of that. Obviously, with Mark Mascarenhas, he was part of that, first person to get that kind of endorsement. But for Tendulkar, we have read far too many things to him, and it's natural. But for Tendulkar, all that mattered, and I can tell you 105 stories, all that mattered was playing cricket for India, scoring runs for India, trying to win games for India.
So big message, country comes first.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Tendulkar has always batted at two levels. One example, 2003 World Cup. After that match against Pakistan, my friend Gautam Bhattacharya keeps talking about this incident. One day later, Gautam went to Sachin's room, dark room, and everybody remembers that 98 or 78 ball, Shoaib Akhtar all over the park. Sachin Tendulkar was watching a video of not his own innings, but a video of Brett Lee bowling because India was playing Australia in the final. And 4 years down the line, 2007, we've lost. 2 days later, same jersey, club sandwich in his room. India has crashed out of the World Cup. His whole world had collapsed. So, of course, I mean, he was batting at 2 wickets, one for himself and one for the country. And that's why
Not
Sachin
in
Tendulkar.
that order.
I would say country first, and then himself. Because again, I mean, I can give you one story after another, which will tell you why I said country first.
Provoking Shomo, do you think, looking at that last 25 years, that when you had to list down people who associated with brand India, it would possibly be Tendulkar first, second, third, and maybe then a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth?
No, he was Indian cricket's first global brand.
I'm not saying Indian cricket, I'm saying India. Confident India, resurgent India, a country finding its own feet. If you had to find a face to it,
No, the
would you
only
put
trouble with that is 9 countries play cricket. So if looking at, say, America or non-cricket playing countries, I mean...
No, I'm not even saying that, you know, irrespective of whether 9 countries play cricket or not, if you had to find a face for a resurgent India, would it be Tendulkar 1, 2, 3, and then maybe a fourth or a fifth?
Only in cricket playing countries. If you go to Brazil, or the recent Maria Sharapova incident said, who's Tendulkar, that's Russia. I mean, he certainly wasn't India's face. He cannot be, given his chosen sport.
Suddenly say
It's not
something
Pele
there.
and Brazil.
You want to provoke him?
I don't agree. I absolutely don't agree. I mean, the fact of the matter is, in football, we say 205 countries play football. That includes India, 161st or whatever it is. So don't go by that number. If you go by that number, there are 89 countries registered playing cricket with the ICC.
But what
that's not the point.
Tendulkar meant to India.
Exactly. That's what I'm coming to. Switzerland, 3 years back, Tendulkar was going to Interlaken in the morning for just, I mean, it was a pleasure visit. This fellow comes down from his hotel room to the lobby. And then, you know, he said, let's walk because it'll be lovely to go and walk and do it. I can't do it in India. And suddenly people started chasing him. And it's part of the book, so it's not a lie. People started chasing him and he had to get into a horse carriage and run away. So it's not in India. It's not absolutely in India that he gets mugged or the 9 cricket playing countries. For God's sake, Switzerland. For God's sake, Interlaken. I don't think anybody knows what cricket is at that point in time or there. Maria Sharapova, obviously, you know, she's entitled.
Could they have been Indian tourists in Switzerland? Because there are a lot of them
No,
in the
these are
summer,
not all.
on package
not all
holidays.
See, I've seen this. I've seen this with Tendulkar in some parts of the world, especially in Europe. In Germany, when he visits the Adidas factory, etc., etc., it's not only about Indians in different parts of the world. In the United States, doesn't play cricket. The single biggest sort of Tendulkar fan base apart from India is in the United States. So to answer Mudar's question, I think brand Tendulkar, resurgent India, I think it is. I mean, Tendulkar, the way he shaped Indian imagination across the world, diaspora, the world's imagination of India, understanding of India, you would have to say it was 1, 2, 3 Tendulkar.
So what is that brand Tendulkar, Shoma, if I have to ask you? Is it only professional excellence or it's professional excellence plus, 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 plus? So explain the plus, 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 plus to us.
It's a lot of things. I'll try and read out a bit and explain. But I also think, as we were saying, part of the big allure of Tendulkar and part of his enduring legacy will be what he has bequeathed the cricketing nation, what he has bequeathed India as a cricketing nation, and the state in which he has left it, and the people who are there to carry on that legacy.
Maybe I'm saving that question up for a little later. But tell us exactly that, you know, if one were to draw from him, today's India would draw what from him in addition to his professional excellence?
Humility, as Virat Kohli's coach keeps telling him, professionalism certainly, unflappability, the ability to play when the entire nation is screaming your name and that whole Sachin, Sachin chant is going around the stadium as though you're in an aeroplane, you know, and you're looking down 35,000 feet below, and all you see is a stack of clouds.
So
You see nothing.
I'm going to make this a little more provoking for you. That if one had to find an analogy for Tendulkar to be able to translate to people who actually run this country, what is it about Tendulkar that you would actually extract and say, look at, tell the people who run this country, this is what you should be actually seeing from Tendulkar, and maybe even imbibing it.
No, I don't. I think that's a flawed analogy. I think you can't compare a sports person who's come in playing international cricket at the age of 16 with a hardened politician who, more often than not, is a crook.
Attributes, if I could extract from the 25-year-old who played for India, the 30-year-old who played for India, and say, okay, this attribute is, if we could transfer it from one space to another, this country could go places.
No, it would be that. It would be humility. It would be professionalism. It would be rigor. It would be hard work. It would be discipline. It would be dedication. It would be all those things.
One attribute, if I were to ask you for.
Professionalism, I think.
Professionalism.
Yeah.
I agree. I actually agree with Shomo on this one. And
Anecdote. You only answered anecdotes.
Fine, anecdote. Okay, done. Another one. 2003 World Cup, South Africa. Match before that Pakistan game or Sri Lanka. One of the two matches. Sachin was practicing, and from end December